What's up, metalheads? It's Death Metal Dave in your face here on MetalMessiahRadio.com. And I have a guest with me. It's Andy Eichhorn of Prime Evil, vocalist of Prime Evil. What's up, Andy?
What's up, Dave? Good afternoon, brother. How are you, man?
Yeah, we're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, Dave, just saying hi. Have you got me?
Yeah. You live in proper New York?
Actually, live 40.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Hell yeah.
We got a good tell.
So you were saying where you lived? You live 20 to 30 minutes north of New York City proper?
Right, about 45 minutes north of New York City. Lived here all my life, born and raised. So again, in the early days, we were right there to the New York hardcore scene, the punk scene, everything like that. We grew up hearing all that, and all of a sudden, literally, heavy metal kind of came on the scene. Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, in the early '80s. Also, we're picking up guitars, we're picking up drums that you had to do back then. You actually had to grab an instrument and do something. We thought it was exciting, this and that. And again, long story short, man, once around 1984, 83, 84, we really heard some demos. We heard Slayer from California and on Metal Massacre, on Metal Massacre, and then the first album. And I immediately met the four local guys in the region, actually, who we were all the same-minded, and we all got together. And that is basically the original frame-up of Prime Evil. We just wanted to play thrash. We heard that we were like, that's exactly the style we want to do. And we wanted to scare all the posers around too. It was really a great time.
Well, hey Andy, let me back up a minute. And how did you get into music? And what started you? Who got you into it?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, music in general, a very young age. I'm talking about 6, 7 years old. I had one of those clamshell record players, and I played everything that was around me. So my parents had the Beatles,
nice,
the Beach Boys, things like that. And then meanwhile, my mom's playing Carly Simon in the back. There's Tapestry, et cetera, et cetera. So I had a lot of music around me. Then, of course, I had an older uncle.
Yeah,
that was the key.
Always the uncle.
It's always the uncle. Absolutely, man. So of course, after this was some Beatles, and all of a sudden, then me and my brother were watching TV 1975. I'm like 10 years old, 11 years old. We wanted to register anything. We saw a flash of a band called Kiss on television. We're like, what the hell was that? Well, we immediately went out and had my grandmother, God bless her, buy us Kiss Alive 1.
Nice.
She had no idea exactly. She's like, oh my God, I'm not buying. We're like, Grandma, please. Obviously, it changed us, okay? Especially back then. People think they're a joke now, this and that. Kiss were amazing back then,
yeah,
okay?
Kiss was the shit.
They were the shit, man. They were the real New York, born and bred, real guys, this and that, amazing ideas. And a lot of people, again, Black Sabbath started it musically, again, as far as stage-wise, and just bringing it to an extra arena level, it was all about Kiss. And then immediately, basically right after that, it was really heavy Iron Maiden, all the Judas Priest. As soon as we heard, so again, I was always kind of surrounded by that. But again, I'm sorry, I went down to my uncle's record collection right after I heard Kiss in 1975, and all of a sudden I'm looking through his albums, going by covers, only going by covers back then, And of course, what do I pick out? I pick out some witch-type figure standing in front of an old house of Black Sabbath. Put the needle on, and again, changed completely. My life, unbelievable, this and that. Immediately ran downstairs the next day, started bumming through again. I saw Black Sabbath again with some weird-looking guy with a sword swinging around. I'm like,
how old were you then?
What is it?
What, like middle school or?
No, I was in. This is great, man. I had been sent from public school. I was now in Catholic school. I was like 12 years old. Like 12 years old.
Catholic school did it for everybody.
Well, dude, and again, we can go off on that for a second. Totally. As soon as I was sent to Catholic school, Again, this is happened out. The nuns used to come up with a ruler, stick it right to my neck, and go, "Mr. Eichhorn, you will cut that hair." My hair was that half inch below my ears. Me and my brothers wanted to do anything. We wanted to grow our hair and play rock. That's all we wanted to do. Is all we talked about in school, et cetera, et cetera. Again, Pink Floyd, everything, all those classic influences and more. We can go back to Motown. We go back to everything that was really, really any high beat, high energy types of stuff really attracted us. And so as a matter of fact, at one point, we got I got the Sabbath second album. Again, like 12 years old, and again, probably for our 13th birthday, me and my brother both asked for electric guitars. We both asked for guitars, and really long story short, my brother Chris, again, who was also played with a band from Nevermore and a band called Pure Sweet Hell and some other projects. He was a competent musician himself for years. Stayed inside and practiced. I practiced a little bit, and then also started going out drinking and chasing girls.
As we all do.
Exactly. We all tried and we wanted to. But again, so what happened? He became quite an aficionado on guitar. A local heavier band called Savage Choir that was known in the upstate region, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area, as they talked about. All the bands ran the circuit back then, whether it was a rock band, a metal band, a hair band, whatever, the whole thing going on, obviously. He got drafted to play bass for Savage Choir. All of a sudden, he's kind of a local rock star. So I immediately helped out with sound. I was managing them. They had lots of gigs they're playing around, so I was kind of like their technical guy. When their singer would not show up or couldn't show up, not wasting the studio time, I spoke. However, my own style. Of course, the guy at the time was a very high-pitched power metal singer, with a high range. I did it in that range, but with a very, this thrashy, very gritty edge.
Did you have a name then?
All the guys.
Did you have a band name at that time?
Oh, no, and I was in the band. I would just fill in for them. That was Savage Choir.
Savage Choir,
was my brother's band.
Gotcha.
Yep, Savage Choir for New Jersey. So when their when the singer Steve didn't show up or was sick, was quite often, I would step in as vocals and sing songs, jumped in, and then they're like, "Hey, wait a minute, this sounds pretty good." Anyway, so then I immediately started looking for my own band. We booked a show for Savage Choir. My brother booked friends of his that had no lead singer. Those are the guys that Primeval. Gary Day, Mike Yusufer were the two guitar players. I set up the show for them in Savage Choir, big show in Beacon. It was going to. The police were all scared because this heavy metal band was booked. It's March of 1985.
Wow.
The local was still kind of making waves. We loved it. We loved making the excitement back then. It was shocking people. But it was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? We were laughing. Anyway, they were all concerned. And I booked it. So they booked this band that played Slayer and Metallica covers off the first album.
Gotcha.
They didn't have a singer. I stepped right in. I said, "Hey, you guys are playing. I'm a singer. How about I try out?" I pulled my brush out of my pocket at the time. They put on "Show No Mercy" on the stereo, and I sang along and did all the screams. And they're like, "You got the job. We got it."
Nice.
So at that time, they had different names called Metal Messiah was the name of their band. Which again, I was like, "Wow,
Metal Messiah Radio." Come full circle.
There we go, Metal Messiah Radio. Now it's much better for Metal Messiah Radio. But for a band that's just starting out back then to call yourself Metal Messiah, I thought it was really kind of cheesy and pretentious.
Right,
However, that wasn't my choice.
Yeah.
But anyway, we played the show. We warmed up for them, and we played Slayer and Metallica covers, and people were like, "Wow." But the other band was pretty heavy. The other band, Savage Choir, again, had a high melodic singer, and it was on a heavy edge. But it really came across really good, and we liked the reaction. And a lot of people took notice that it was the performance was really good. And then right after that is where I came up with the entire concept. I had this for years, actually. Again, hey, am I ever going to be in a band? I might be. We all dream about it. We all think about it. I just wanted to participate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
wanted to be that guy.
To participate. Didn't want to be or join in with like-minded people. didn't want to be a rock star. I didn't want to join a band. I saw this scene going on. We were brothers and sisters. We all sensed the excitement. Even the people in the audience from the stage, moshing, moving. We were a force to be reckoned with, and we knew it.
It was
and
a
people were starting to
community.
take notice of this. There was a community building,
Yeah.
and it still lasts today. But we felt the power. We felt the building, and we felt more people getting on. Yeah, it was a little more extreme. Some bands were more extreme than others. However, people were definitely showing up and taking notice, and it was a really good time. We had a mixture of power metal bands, some heavy hardcore bands, some thrash bands, and it was starting to. You talk about a crossover scene again. DRI mentioned that, and the album about that. That actually literally happened in the New York. I'm sure it happened across the country, but in the New York tri-state area, we used to be very separate. The Skinheads back in the day, in the late 70s and early 80s, when they're down at CBGB's, a little too infiltrated by with this ridiculous Nazi culture and this
Right.
and that.
Yeah.
And if you went down there as long hair, this and that, it was ugly. It was not cool. However, as time went on, and I'm talking about 83, 84, things started loosening up a little bit. We realized we really needed each other. And that's really kind of that's what happened over there. The crossover happened. The hardcore and the thrash and the extreme, even the power metal, started doing shows together. We started mixing crowds. The crowd started getting along. Also, the kind of, they had good bouncy thrash parts, which are still kind of good moshy, hardcore influence type stuff. So we had really, that's when things also took off. We would play early shows with local bands from here called Murphy's Law.
Right.
And then throw in another hardcore band and throw another two thrash bands and then mix them up. And so it was really, really kind of a good thing. And then all of a sudden, then we started getting together at clubs. Really started booking. L'Amour's, obviously in Brooklyn, was legendary. Streets in New Rochelle, places, these specialty metal places, really sprung up. And then that's where we really got to play with up and coming bands at all at the same time. We're all a brotherhood. Our brothers, not to name drop, but a guy from Demolition Hammer,
Yeah.
a buddy from
yeah.
Immolation, our guys from Suffocation. We were all in the crowd watching other bands talking about, hey, I got a band and this and that. Next thing I know, I see Terrence. Again, Terrence and Suffocation.
Yeah.
Coming up, hey, guys, he's buying a Primeval t-shirt. Hey, I'm a big fan. Hey, I got a band on Long Island. This time I can warm up for you guys one day. We let Suffocation, it's really great saying this now, we let Suffocation open up for us, like one of their first shows. Anybody that wanted to step up back in the day, there was never any type of jealousy, any rock star thing. At least with us, we didn't think we were rock stars. We just wanted to play.
Yeah.
Man, what? You guys play thrash? You play like, come on, more for death metal. I'm like, that's great. No, man, we all got together and held shows and this and that. Incantation, all these bands that end up getting record deals and are still going today. All happened. All happened here.
And the same kind of thing was going on here in the Tampa area. The same fucking thing in Florida, the Death, the Amon,
exactly.
the Executioner. And when did you record? I mean, when did you realize and start recording?
Yeah, exactly. So when we finally then upgraded to the key back then was the drummer. Yeah, the guys could definitely play. They could pick that fast. We could do the solos, but to find drummers that could play the double bass and play that type of thrash beat were few and far between back then. However, so we actually finally found a guy from Westchester named Tad Leger. And again, he went on to drum for Toxic.
Okay.
On both and this and that. So anyway, he was our first drummer. And that's when we went from playing cover tunes all the time. We were writing originals. When we finally got with him, the drum situation solidified, and we immediately scheduled. And that was in late 1986 and into 87. But one quick, and here's another Florida connection immediately. So one right off the bat, when we started rehearsing with Tab Leger, he's talking about his pen pal in Florida. And everything was pen pals back then. It was all tape trading. It was writing letters to each other, man.
It was the good old days.
He talked about his friend Evil Chuck from Florida that had just changed his band from Mantis and is now his band Death.
Yes.
And how he's heard his stuff, and you guys got to check it out. It's really good. So right away, we had already heard of Evil Chuck through our new drummer and this and that. But anyway, right away we heard he and again, Chuck, God rest his soul, used to send our ex-drummer Tal Jay some early demo death stuff. And one of them was Zombie Ritual, where he does that beginning kind of opening riff, which I call like an Egyptian style riff. We call
Yeah.
Well, completely separate and all that, the beginning of our song that we had just written called Living in Fear, opened with what I dubbed up here was the Egyptian riff. So actually, they were all kind of a little bit similar. But Tad one day came to think, goes, Evil Chuck just sent me a tape that has kind of an Egyptian riff that opened like this, almost not same, but very similar, and definitely similar in style and sound. So right away, we're like, oh my God, we're kindred spirits with this guy, this and that. We immediately heard their tunes and his tunes. We worshiped them off the bat. We're like, holy effing crap. Like, this is what's going on in Florida. Here's what's going on in New York. We got to get together, So even at that point, it was just reaching out, you didn't know. And there were so many other scenes going on in California, and the funk scene going into the metal scene and this and that. We're all kind of separated by geography. But again, it all kind of came together in tape trading and zines, etc., like that. So we developed within that whole genre. We would open up for the bigger bands. That's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to open up for our heroes.
So you didn't you do a tour or something with Death? Or
again,
you did a bunch of shows.
Back in the day, we did a bunch of huge shows with all the like-minded bands that came through, because some of the record labels were looking at us at the time through our demos. Now, again, Morbid Angel, Death, Dark Angel. Again, big shows were booked with Death Angel, Forbidden, and us, and giant sold-out theater with 2,000 people and things like that. So we're getting really good exposure, but we were we were there just to represent the underground. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, hey, we're going to get signed, we're going to do this and that. We're like, check out the local guys that are going to really tear your face off. and we just had a blast doing it. There was really no arrogance or cockiness. We felt the energy of the crowd. We felt the energy and power of what we were doing. And it was just wonderful. So, and again, we were just a demo, kind of a small band, again, known certain parts overseas, certain parts this and that, and in some places not at all. But it's always stayed with me, even after through my whole career getting married and this and that. Come back.
Andy,
go ahead, brother.
How I first heard about you guys is in '87, and I met Terry. Was the first person I met in Florida, moving from Alabama, and he had just joined Death. Him and the guys in Massacre at the time, and they were practicing. They took me to practices at Chuck's house for Scream Bloody Gore tour. But I was a flyer collector. Terry was a flyer collector. We were album collectors. All of Death was album collectors. And not really. I don't know if Rick really was at the time, but I know that when James was in, he was definitely a record collector. Still, we all are still to this day. And of course, rest in peace, Chuck. But when Terry went on that tour and came back, he brought me a shitload of flyers, and there was a shitload that had Primeval on it. And we had talked about Primeval, and he played you guys for me. I think he must have had a couple of demos or something, because I specifically remember this. And I think me and you discussed that when I first met you in New York last year at Armageddon Fest. And that's how I found out about you guys back in the tape trading, and he introduced me to that shit, and it was fucking killer. But anyway, so
and again, so even even more to expand upon that. You just nailed it, reminded me. So the main thing was, again, in our band, once in 1986, I met a young lady who knew, and we were looking for a bass player. She knew of a female friend of hers that played bass and thrash. I'm like, really? There were hardly any female fans back then, let alone musicians at this and that. But then again, I didn't care about female or not. I heard she rocked. It was the one and only Mary Chulo. We were introduced in New York City at a creator show. I handed her, she had already had the first demo. I handed her a new unreleased song some of the songs that turned out to be the Manifestation demo. And I'm sorry. Again, sorry. It was right before the very first demo, and I said, we're going to the studio. We need a bass player. When she got in the band, she was a major tape trader and pen pal. She was pen pals with Terry.
Okay.
All the guys from Death and this and that, so they exchanged musical ideas all the time. And actually, I think he might still have it to this day. I know she actually sold Terry some of her basses.
Wow.
Because we were playing shows with them, and he actually kind of noticed one and took it and was like, I really like this. And I remember she never forgot that. And 2 years later, she wanted to get rid of it, and she sold one of the basses. So she already had a really good relationship with the guys back then. And
so everybody knows we're talking about Terry Butler that was in Death, and he's in Obituary now, but he's done a lot of shit in between there. Anyways, yeah, Terry Butler. Fuck yeah. I wonder, he might still have that, dude. He might. I'm gonna have to ask him now.
You know what? He might, because it was some sort of, again, special semi-custom bass. You couldn't have it. You couldn't really find it and this and that. But they would always get together, and we'd hang out with them, and they'd go crazy talking about basses and styles and tonage and this and that type of stuff. And again, so we wanted to do nothing to try to get every show to possibly warm up for them. Of course, we go to the clubs, and basically, and it was just a great combination back then, and this and that. Also, some of the labels were looking at us. But also, when I sat down with Chuck back then, it was really funny. Even in the beginning, of course, I wanted to talk to him about vocal style. I wanted to talk about lyrical content and this and that. It really didn't strike me. And again, this is during the Scream Bloody Gore, and then into spiritual healing. I'm sorry, into leprosy. Into leprosy. Sorry, absolutely. Gotcha. Where I didn't strike me till really the end of Leprosy that what a freaking guitar aficionado and genius he really was. I knew he killed, but I was just more into that. Where all my conversations every time we talked went. And in retrospect, I'm like, man, I really wish I asked him more about his guitar playing, because I just didn't at the time. I was vocalist. I was just paying attention to that. I really loved the tonality and the pronunciation that he had.
Yeah.
So again, I liked that. I didn't want to. I heard a lot of other guys have different styles. The words are not meant to be heard, or something that's used as a tool, and I get that. But for me, especially, I want to try to be as deep, as sinister, but yet you need to be kind of enunciate at times, because it really has a good effect. So we always had that in common. We had a strong Tampa Bay connection.
So you probably met them maybe in '87 is when they toured the Scream Bloody Gore tour.
It was 87, the Scream Bloody tour, and 88, and actually then into 88 was still Scream Bloody Gore, and then they came right back a few months later into 88, 89 for the Leprosy tour, and that's also where I have. And I keep saying this, but in the next week or so, I'm going to probably publish all those pictures of that, of all the young faces. To this day, sick. I see Terry Butler, and everyone's got the giant beard and this and that. I still remember him just as the young, cliche-shaven guy.
Man, I'd love to get a copy of those somehow, because it would go good.
Yeah, put them all up in high res on my site next week.
It'll be perfect for the Tampa Bay Museum of Metal when we do an in-museum actual exhibit where we can display a lot of photos and stuff. It'll go good with the time of Leprosy and Tim Hubbard's pictures. But anyways, so by the time you had met them, you had already recorded Primeval, the first demo?
Yeah, we had recorded the first demo, and already then in 1988, or at that time, was what, if everyone ever kind of sees it, whatever, it's the Red Demon demo, is called the Manifestation demo. That's where we went into. We went into a local, really, really great studio down in White Plains, where Kiss and Ace Frehley and a lot of guys were recorded.
Okay.
And for a demo. So again, we didn't want to do a demo. We went to a real studio, and it shows the performance and the production level on that. That demo shot all over the world. We all of a sudden we're getting in all kinds of fanzines and even glossy magazines across Europe, etc. And my mother's mailbox, I put my own home address.
That's what everybody
right on
did
there,
back
all
then.
over the world at the time. All of a sudden, it started filling up with these incredible, colorful replies and UPS replies and worldwide kind of airmail type stuff from all over the world asking for copies of the demo, to buy the demo for interviews, et cetera, et cetera. So, it kind of took off in a small way, and it was just really good. That's how things worked back then. It was my pleasure to pack a demo and send it off to Germany or Japan or something.
Yeah.
It was really totally mind blowing. But just spreading the gospel, man.
You definitely solidified your spot in history. It's just unfortunate you didn't fucking get signed. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but to me, I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, our drummer quit. We lost our drummer at the most opportune or inopportune time, right around 1990. And grunge had hit and this and that, but it didn't really matter. We were in a totally different genre. And that was, again, we even 92, I tried another drummer, and we played a couple of shows, and I really had to pull the plug on it, because at that point it just wasn't right. It just wasn't right. The drummers around here didn't have the chops, and not that we were that big either, this and that, but it was time to end it at that time. So again, and then real quick, went on hiatus. I always had it burning in my heart. What really resurrected things in 2011, and I haven't talked about this too much, but I'll be brief on it, was that Tony Dolan and Jeff Dunn, known as Mantis,
yes,
left Kronos, and they had a little thing, and they were going to name their band Prime Evil, named after the 1990 album, which they named after our band. So at that point, I took legal action against them, cease and desist, this and that, and because I wasn't going to have that. Now, I had a small little band from New York. That's my intellectual property. I own the copyright.
Right.
I paid a lot of money. I've never earned a dime from this. I paid just to play, because I just love the music. Just want to spread the gospel. And at that point, all the ex-members that approached me, you're still trying to steal our name, this and that. I'm like, okay, I put up all the money. I'm just telling you how it is now. I said, I put up all the money for the legal guys. I had them served at all the places in London. This is very expensive. I paid for it all. I'm like, well, guys, what we're going to do then, we're going to get together. We're going to play some reunion shows, and we're going to make some new material. We have all this great stuff that we never acted upon. They actually kind of did it begrudgingly. We played a couple reunion shows in 2012 at the Gramercy in New York City, a couple other shows, the big reunion of the original lineup. And after that, that was the end of that. The majority, Mary, God bless her, she had issues. All the ones just did not want to continue. And you know what? That's fine. That is fine in life. You make choices and this and that. However, myself and Mike Yusuf at the time, we're not going to end anything or stop anything. It doesn't matter.
Right. It was your deal. You wanted to hold on to it.
And it was, no claim to fame. We had already committed. We were this and that, and all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, man. So
what did you do?
Make it move.
What did you do during that like hiatus between 92 and when you looks like you may have got an offer to do the compilation? And so what did you do in between that? You go to school or what?
All right. So anyway, at the time, and we're talking about the heyday, if you would, from 87 through 89, I was going to college. So I was going to college.
Okay, gotcha.
I graduated high school in 1984. I went from college 1985 to 1989. I graduated and again, my parents, we had to scrape up the money. We had to get some Pell Grants. I didn't have any money. Andy's going to college in Harvard. No, it was local community college type stuff. And I really worked my way up and worked hard to get enough grant money where I could go to SUNY Newport, which is the State University of New York, but now it's pretty hard to get into. But again, what I found there was the most eclectic mix of hardcore people, metal people, hippies, everything. It was absolutely amazing, fantastic experience, and they all supported. So I really would go to classes during the week, and then we'd go and people would rehearse, and then we'd go play shows on the weekend.
What were you going to school for?
I went to school for communications and media arts. It was basically television and radio, because I started as an engineer, because the local up here was IBM, was one of the biggest
Right.
biggest employers back in the day here, and people said I wasn't really a smart guy, but hey, get an engineering degree, and you'll have a job for life at IBM. Well, I took one semester of engineering. I'm like, this is not for me.
Right.
This is way too advanced. I could do that. It's way too much work. Anyway, I heard Iron Maiden playing over the student speakers. I'm like, where is that coming from? They're like, the campus radio station. Bam! I freaking basically ran there, pushed the door open. I'm like, you! I pointed to the guy, the DJ. I'm like, you're playing that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what's your major? He goes, communications and media arts. And I switched my major basically the next day. And
nice.
I got a radio show. Got a radio show. Immediately started. Opened up with Accept, Fast as a Shark. People lost their minds.
Well, I hope you handed that guy a demo of yours.
Yeah, no, I absolutely did. Again, he was in the snap, but him and I were actually the only metal guys at that point. I was really the more heavier guy. But again, immediately got a radio station or a radio show, and changed my major, radio, television, and then long story short, I graduated, went to New Paltz, transferred, finished up my degree, and I have worked for NBC Sports for the last 30 years.
I know. That's amazing. That's killer, man.
And I took, I worked my way up from basically dubbing tapes from one deck to another, just like the most menial job that I could get straight out of college, and work my way up. I never had to cut my hair. People would threaten me. People would all kinds of things you could even imagine about. You're never going to go anywhere. That long hair, this and that. I ended up, managing, and again, not bragging, managing 75 people, overseeing huge production and technical facilities.
Don't you do sports?
Music. And I used to do everything. I used to do also the A&E network, the Discovery Channel, all kinds of cable networks. And then I got into pay-per-view during the 90s. I did all the Mike Tyson boxing matches, all of the WWE pay-per-view wrestling, et cetera, et cetera.
So is this like the production, like tapping in or queuing in?
This is the transmission. So I would deal with the production. I would pick up the produced signal from them, and I'm the one that would basically send it around the world on a pay-per-view basis back then.
Oh, gotcha.
Like high-end $1 million, all subscribers, everything. So, yeah, I tell you just reminded me of this now. But, I have a great career in broadcasting.
Fuck yeah.
I took opportunities by learning the technology around me, by asking. I wasn't that smart enough guy to read a manual and kind of become an expert in anything. I watched people. I learned processes and had wonderful opportunities. So to this day, I still do a lot of broadcasting. I deal with high-end NASCAR and Olympics and all kinds of broadcasts. So it's all good.
You still at NBC or was it NBC?
I am. Yep.
Killer.
It is still NBC Sports. Absolutely.
That's fucking awesome. That's killer, dude. I'm happy for you. That's fucking killer.
I appreciate it. And I also bring that up because I also
you have fun doing. I guess
matter what you look like, what you listen to. You can do whatever you want, man, in life.
I guess you have fun doing that too, right?
No, it's a blast, man. It's always very challenging. It's a technical, not really a game, but it's a technical challenge that I need to unfold, work with other people to accomplish every week to get a major broadcast from point A to point B, possibly even from downtown Paris all around the world in a blink of an eye. All the NFL broadcasts, et cetera, and there's a lot of commercial revenue at stake. So it's very challenging and very stimulating. And as you can hear my voice, it's I feel very blessed to have a career like this. I worked my damn ass off to get here, man. It was tough, but it's TV. It's the glitz and glamour of live television.
No, I'm glad we went there because I wanted to go there, and I'm just happy for you. Fuck yeah! So back to the music. Unearthed. What made you decide to do a compilation? Were you approached, or how does that work out?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So the original Unearthed was our good friend King Fowley of Deceased. Again, another brother of metal. We just played shows together back in the day. The guys from Virginia and that also were playing around. And again, everyone knows what a great guy and what a character King is.
Oh, yeah.
Like that from the beginning. I couldn't even believe I'd heard about this guy, and I was like, no, this guy can't be real. No, he absolutely is, 100%. So we had some really good shows, early stuff. Back in the day, we would just show up in the town and we'd basically play roller rink and scare the crap out of the local neighborhood, and even the owners, and then we'd pull out of town. I mean, we really had some reactions like that. I remember a show, Deceased, Incantation, us, and maybe one other band, and I actually heard that at one point there were people outside, like doing like anti-devil worship picketing and stuff like that. Like it was
protesting.
But they were very upset apparently at some of the names they were playing that day. So I don't know. It was really cool. But anyway, he had always appreciated what we did, and we never did get a record deal, this and that. So around mid-90s, did that come out? I forget, but he actually approached us. 2002. Early 2000s. King Crowley approached us. He does T-shirts. He does a lot of the releases, stuff like that. He's an entrepreneur. Wasn't looking really make money or anything like that, but bankrolled the compilation of all of our first 3 demos, I believe. Even the one that wasn't released. So that was really nice that for him to put that out in like one place. He knew Napster. First time I called up Napster, I was like, hey, I wonder if we're on there. And all of a sudden, boom! I say, oh crap! I'm like, I see all our songs. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm like, well, people want tapes or whatever. But anyway, I thought it was nice for him to. We got him about as high end recordings left off some of the cassettes as we could, and he put them on a CD. We gave him the artwork, and he did that. So that really. That put a little bit more attention to, again, some of the older fans that wanted it all in one place on CD, and also some maybe new fans too. And then, again, I just wanted to kind of keep going with that. Everyone else is, you can't motivate people and push them. If it's not there and they're not into it, you can't push them. So I couldn't really motivate any of the other members to continue going. But then it was more, I called it attrition. It's like, all right. Sorry, see you later. They're like, well, no, it has to end. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about ending.
Right.
What does that mean? Whatever, no. Anyway, I'm glad
you keep the candle burning a little bit, because I'm sure your job demands time, and it would be tough to do a tour, for sure.
Yeah, well, no, it really has. But actually, since COVID, I actually work completely remotely now.
Wow.
Okay. I work from home. It's not as all it's cracked up to be. However, we are now absolutely planning tours. No doubt. The new guys, the new band that I have, the guys I've gathered from the New York area are incredibly motivated, seasoned, have already been through tours. We have connections overseas. Our new, one of my new guitar players, Jun Takashita, is from Tokyo, Japan. He goes back and forth a couple times a year.
Wow.
He's going in October again to visit his real relatives, and again, we'll be in your first kind of announcing this. Nothing's official yet. However, we are very determined, and apparently there is interest, and he'll be over there setting up, looking at interest for possibly a Japanese tour in 2026.
Good.
So
I love Japan.
Dude, you get me on a plane, bro. I'll play your basement, man. Okay. So this is to spread the gospel. We are completely rejuvenated. The guys I work with now, and again, that's why I said this is now the final, or this is now the official lineup of Prime Evil, because their enthusiasm and their honesty is so freaking genuine. They're like, Andy, these songs are actually fun to play. They're like, hey, can we play this one off of the 2015 album and this and that? And they're pointing out, I'm like, I hate those songs. Let me go back to those songs. I'm like, oh, well, the way you guys play them, that's pretty good. Again, the Blood Curse album from 2015.
Yeah.
The production on it was very disappointing. Unfortunately, went through a hell with that. And but there actually are some songs that were rejuvenating. We put in a live set that actually freaking come across live fantastically. And then now again, looking very much, and this is solid plan. Looking very much into the future, is like the new material is going to be exactly already existed. It just needs to be executed with these fantastic musicians. Is going to be a perfect mix between basically Primeval, the Manifestation, and Evolution X. Again, you're going to have that thrashy kind of little death edge thing. It's going to be great. We have pounding choruses, excellent riffs. I mean, I am just so excited. I would never ever at this point try to do anything half-assed or, hey, you know, it's okay. We used to be known for this, used to be known for that. No, we weren't known for anything. It was great what we did in the past. And it's wonderful that people still appreciate it, but they ain't seen nothing yet.
Man, I just got lost.
I was just on a rant when I was going. It's rejuvenating. You can hear the energy in my voice, man. This is stress. There was no money. There was no glory. There was nothing. There was spreading the gospel, man, and getting out there and just doing the old school.
So, Andy, did you ever write like the music at all? Since you're a guitar player, also, or did you just do vocals?
Yep.
I mean, just do those lyrics.
No, absolutely. So that's the whole thing. That's why if pieces get lost, they can be replaced. Because this is not bragging or anything. It's honesty. I was completely intimate with the writing of just about every song from the beginning.
Gotcha.
We would get together. I would. How about this? Sometimes they would come up with a riff. Yep. Then all of a sudden, I'll start pounding a beat to it, and I'll start like singing some lyrics. And then, hey, take that part, repeat it 8 times, then add this part, and then I would hum them a riff. I mean, a lot of bands do it different, but I can vocalize or verbalize a lot of my riff ideas.
Do you ever play them anything? Like grab the guitar and say, hey, play it like this?
And then, so that, exactly. So then back in the day, I would do that. And then, so during the writing sessions of for 2015 and this and that was only me and Mike Yusufer. And we had a session drummer. We had a drummer that we were working with. So we were writing a whole album. We wrote that completely together. And then at least 4 of those songs, I actually sent him my acoustic guitar playing the riffs. Absolutely. It's like, hey, here's an idea.
Gotcha.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
Ended up kind of using them. So again, all my choruses, my concepts, this and that. That's why no one's going to say there's not that much more difference in this and that. It's actually going to be much more mature and much more seasoned. I've been running this material by the ex-guitar player. I don't want to flag him. It's not nothing to do with it. He just couldn't continue, even though he says he could for the last 2 years to try to get this new material out. He put out old stuff, and I said, but we have to do the new material. Time is running short, man. Cannot motivate it. It came up with every excuse in the book, so that's why I had to make the decision I made. I had to end the partnership and take this new entity and go forward with it. And it was the best move, and I'm so excited. And the proof will be in the performances and in the future releases.
Hey, some of these guys, what other bands were they in before?
Yep. Well, they also all from a New York band called Another Demon.
Right.
They play. Yep. And then also again, back then the bass player is also a drummer and a guitar player, multi-instrumentalist. He was a drummer for hardcore band Sick of It All.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Again, another them. So, and also our drummer Jorge, incredible. He's with a lot of different bands, including this fairly big New York band that would go around everything called Metal Fire, like FIER, Metal Fire band. They were I was surprised. I actually saw this. They were a cover band. I never heard, but I saw these guys warming up at Times Square, at the big venue in Times Square for like an opening band. I'm like, these guys play cover tunes? How did they get that opening gig? And it turns out that he was the drummer for them and this and that. And Frank Tossi is the other guitar player. He's the one with again, Mr. Guitar Aficionado too. A lot of custom guitars. And again, not for show, not for anything. He is really a total guitar aficionado and freaking loves it. Frank has been in a lot of different bands over the years. The kind of guy that they used to call up and, hey, I need you to fill in for a tour. Can you learn the songs real quick and this and that? So really, at all those paths and all that experience has really brought us all together and led to this moment. So I'm really proud of
So,
it. We're gonna have a blast, man.
Didn't another Demon play last year's Armageddon Fest?
Yes, they did.
Okay,
yes, they did. So they go.
That's
so
where I remember that. Okay, killer.
Yep.
And you guys are playing it this year.
Right. So there we go. And again, and we met there last year. We talked. We hit it off again. I was like, oh, Metal Dave from Tampa Bay. I should know you, dude. And now we know each other. And again, like-minded people from all the fucking in. Go by a freaking festival. Look over. Hey, dude, what's up? Hey, where you from? Bam! All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. That's the way I've done it all my life. Connection. Hey, Facebook connections are good. I go right up to say, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? What band you listen to? You know what?
Yeah.
I make fucking friends. Try to do it. But anyway, and then at that point, there are bands shouting me out from the stage. Hey, Andy from Primeval is here tonight.
Yeah.
I've heard that, I've heard that for years, and it's very flattering. But I'm like, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is almost like embarrassing. I'm like, I don't care what I did in the past. Where do you guys hear this? What I can still bring to the table. I still want to contribute. And at that moment, I had been trying to do this, get together, and even get other musicians to collaborate with with Mike Houston for the last couple of years. He refused to collaborate with anyone, including some big names. So we had to move on. And I said, I will be to Ed Farsi, again, another legend in New York, who is a single guy that puts together shows, underground shows here, bigger shows, sign bands, this and that, all out of his own pocket.
Yes.
He goes to Armageddon Fest, which is in Brooklyn, from the 29th, 30th, and 31st of August of this year. And I said, and I went up to those people afterwards, the guys from Abominog, etc., who really gave me a shout from the stage. I'm like, God bless you guys. Thank you so much. They remember when we played together. They remember how cool I was. They remember, not even cool, man. Hey, man, you guys, the only thing it was 20 minutes. Oh, no, you guys are playing 40 minutes. I was always like that. Let's put on a show. I don't care where you're from. It was great. So anyway, they remembered it. And I said to Ed Farsi, I'll be back next year to play this festival.
Fuck
period. Yeah. So basically what we did, I finally got the guys. We did a special preview performance in April, and it's a big store up here called Rock Fantasy in Middletown, which has been around since 1983. Again, just a local guy metalhead started a heavy metal store, and it survived for 40 years.
Crazy.
It's been through up and down and stuff, and you know how much of it's going up and down and this and that. The guy's never really made any money in this and that, but actually a fairly successful businessman, and he has pinball machines there, like antiques. He's got old school metal stuff. He's got records. He's got vinyls. He's got all the new stuff. It's really diversified the right way. Anyway, we played. It was his anniversary festival in April. We showed up and we did a 4-song preview set just to support, say thanks to Steve for all those years and that with the new lineup, and it went over great. At that point, I was still dubbing it Primeval - Tribulation, kind of giving that a Primeval Incorporated or Primeval AD or anything like that. But then once Mike would not even participate, wouldn't do anything, I said that's it. Once I'm at rehearsal and I'm hearing what's going on, I'm hearing the chemistry, I'm like, this is it. This is what we're doing. We're taking the Primeval, dropping Tribulation, also out of respect for the band Tribulation, and we're going forward. So our first full set performance will be on a Saturday, August 30th, at the Armageddon Fest in Brooklyn, New York.
Fuck yeah!
Followed up 2 weeks later, way upstate in Rochester, New York, with the local upstate and regional guys, Malignancy, and a bunch of other bands. And then we'll take all kinds of dates to announce coming up throughout November and December.
Cool, man.
Including a trip to Florida, man. Would you guys like that?
Oh, hell yeah.
We're coming down.
Fuck yeah. I can't wait for that one. Hey.
And again, man, just we'll take the money out of our pocket. We'll do whatever we got to do, and we'll just come down, man. If people, want to buy a T-shirt or whatever, that's all great. We just want to spread the old school thrash, play with some other local bands, and just keep it going, because that's what it's about. There's no ever point in stopping.
So I got to talk to you about a killer hobby that you have. And I had this hobby as a child, but I didn't ever carry it past that. But I'm fascinated with some of your posts. And man, tell us about your hobby. I'll just let you tell everybody.
Sure. You talk about metal, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of metal related. Yeah. So anyway, I think I saw what you saw also as a kid. I saw these guys on my local old schoolyard where we played baseball with these metal detectors. And this is in the mid '70s, and it's a box, with a thing, and there's a round coil on the bottom of it, swinging along the ground. Well, I had been introduced just way back in the day. You did stamp collecting, you did coin collecting. We went out and collected rocks. Yep. We didn't have video games.
Yeah.
So you had to do, you know what I'm saying? So I started following this guy around. Turned out he was a friend of my father's. They worked at Nabisco, of all companies. We had a local Nabisco site. Anyway, he also I see him start pulling silver coins out of the ground. I know exactly what they are. They're from the 1800s. They're barber and some seeded dimes and things like that. I went, wow, you're finding that with that? And of course, then Indian head pennies, which when I was, 6 years old and I saw a penny with an Indian, I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. It's Indians on pennies, right? So I was taken with that. So anyway, I saw that and it was really cool. I went back to my parents. I'm like, hey, can you get me one of those? Well, those things were like $300 in 1974. And no, that was that was a huge amount of money for us lower middle class back then.
So damn near buy a car for that much almost back then.
Back then, yeah. So what I did like a lot of ones. I got like a little Sears toy one, kind of treasure thing. Maybe went a half inch deep. I found some pennies and this and that. But anyway, I never forgot that. And anyway, I've always been a very, I still collected coins, continued collecting coins after that, and always a big history buff. In 2015, is that it? Yeah, about 2014, 2015, I decided to get back into the hobby. I started reading up on it again and this and that, and I went out and bought a couple hundred, not really a beginner one. A beginner one is $100 or whatever, but a fairly decent beginner one for about $400. Went to my old park and I started metal detecting not immediately. It took a couple days to get the swing of it. It's not that easy. There's a lot of noise. It's just not everything's quiet to take it. And I started finding some old coins. Immediately after that, I totally caught the bug. Right. And long story short, I became a complete, again, I'll use that word again, kind of an aficionado in metal detecting and metal detectors. I started going around to high-end mansions, which is the Northeast is full of them, 16 to 1700s, old farms, et cetera, asking permission if you don't trespass, asking permission if I can detect their yard or detect their cornfields. Well, that's when things really started opening up because I had uncovered some archaeological locations that people didn't know about. I started working with local historical societies and things like that.
Sick.
But man, let's get to the bottom of it. You remember King Tut during the 70s and that, and imagine digging down into a hole, finding treasure and this and that. This is the same thing. A little kid in you can go around and there's not a lot. It's hard to do, but it is there. There is jewelry. There is old coins. There are relics. There are cool objects that people have lost from 1600s all the way up to recent times. And if you go in the proper areas, you pull a lot of these things out of the ground. I do it in an archaeological manner. I go around and I document just about everything I find. I take also GPS readings, et cetera, et cetera. Now, again, I find a lot of pocket change that people lost back then, but nowadays it comes out of the ground. It's not worth a lot, but it's certainly worth more than a quarter if it's a silver quarter from the 1800s.
So,
however,
do you ever, like, anything you find, do you split it with a homeowner or a property owner at all, or how does that work?
Yep. So many times I make that offer. Almost 95% of the time, they're just like, we don't care, whatever. Just keep whatever. They're like, keep it. Sometimes I'll just, even if they don't ask, if I do find some nice coins and nice little decorative objects and brooches and stuff like that, I'll put together a little case for them and I'll give it to them to keep at the house as thanks.
Oh, cool.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that. but yeah, a lot of people are kind of disinterested. Not as some people kind of laugh. Like, you want to do what? You want to dig out? I want to dig dirty pennies in your yard. Yeah, you know.
Right.
Well, anyway, some of those dirty pennies are from the 1700s, and they're awesome. I clean them off. I preserve them, and this and that. They're all part of history. So, and again, let me go. I'll do the deep dive right now. So, I have been lucky enough and very fortunate enough to do incredible research. I have found major historic finds, and I'll go back to just this past April. We're basically in one area in a backyard where I had permission to hunt. Most of the yard had been filled in, and a lot of people did the yards back then. You know, once you got money, they kind of filled it in, leveled it off, this and that. About 9/10 of that property, and that house was built in 1850. However, there was a Revolutionary War campsite there prior to that house. I found the back 10%. That was basically what we call untouched and not filled in. And I found two 1777 USA Revolutionary War uniform buttons.
Wow. Okay,
now, these things are really made of pewter, holy grails, the original handmade deals that are put on the original colonial uniforms. So I do, you can find really cool, amazing stuff if you put your mind to it. I'm certainly at a different level. I don't know how I do it. I'm certainly tenacious in a lot of different areas, and this is a major passion of mine, obviously.
So
one great story. I'm on my knees real quick. I'm on my knees in the woods. It's like 8 years ago, deep off a trail, about 50 feet off a trail in the woods, and there's a walking trail, this and that. Some guy stops. I'm covered with sweat. I hear the hey, are you the lead singer of Prime Evil? It's miles out in the middle of the woods, there, walking trail. Anyway, all good.
Fucking funny.
Yeah,
So when you find like a button, how do you take it to somebody and say, what the hell is this? What was this from?
Yeah, well, actually, I pretty much know almost exactly what they are now. I can almost people come to me for identification. I'm very knowledgeable on this. When I dug this button, the first USA button, they're made of a pewter, and again, they were put into a wooden mold back then and then taken out. You can see the seam of the mold on the back of the button. When I pulled out that button, I pulled it out from the back, I saw the seam, but other pewter buttons are like that. When I turned it over, of course, it was covered with dirt, but I saw a faint bumps, if you would, and I said, oh my God, I almost knew right away. I was like, this is a USA button. And sure enough, I kept gently rubbing it, and the interlocking USA completely revealed itself. So I've seen them online, I've seen them in person, I've done a lot of metal taking, been around when they've been found. So yeah, I know right out of the dirt, usually what I've uncovered.
Fuck yeah,
I have a lot of experience.
It's so fucking interesting to me, and it might not be to some of these people, but I just had to talk to you about it, and that's fucking.
I'm so metal. And people said I'm so metal. I dig metal.
yeah. And
but yeah, no, it's awesome, man.
So, well, when the next time, man, I'm gonna have to. I'd love to visit your and go with you sometime doing that, man. That sounds fun, actually. To me,
crazy,
it does. But anyway,
everything is exciting. It's actually boring. You have to spend time on it. But those moments of like, holy crap! I just pulled out an incredible Revolutionary War relic from 300 years ago. Start going through your mind, who dropped it? What were they doing? Yada yada. So, yeah, that's it's really cool.
So,
now, many passions: music, freaking television, metal detecting, history. It's all related to me. In my mind, you know. So,
Andy, to recap your music, you're playing Armageddon Fest, you're planning a tour, even to Florida, and you're when do you think you're gonna record and release?
Yeah, again, I think that'd be for 2026.
Okay,
no doubt it's gonna be done right when again, get there. Right now, again, we're still kind of rehearsing, still adding songs and that, getting ready for more the performances throughout the fall. And then at that point, that's when the final writing will take place. And then after that, we'll start making recording plans. But again, it's all very measured, very step by step, and so very much in control. And we have a really good plan. And man, we're just gonna go out and fucking play metal, man.
Fuck yeah. Well, hey, Andy.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate the call. I appreciate the interest, man. And again, I guess check out YouTube, Prime Evil, band from New York. That's a lot of kind of our videos and stuff, and kind of get the thing. We have stuff for sale. I guess it's on the digital platforms, and just keep an ear out. We're just an underground band. We appreciate any support.
Fuck yeah, man. Awesome, Andy. I appreciate it. I'll have to definitely, I'll be putting this on YouTube in a week or so or less, maybe this weekend, and then it'll be available for anybody listening to it at their own time. But fuck yeah, Andy, I appreciate it, man. I'll let you know when I do that. And
you got it.
Fuck yeah, man.
Thanks so much.
I'm on the verge of
your dedication.
Man, I'm on the verge of trying to make it happen to come to New York. Damn it. It might happen. You never know.
I will come to you, dude. Hey, like you said, we'll play your basement, bro.
I still got to see Eichhorn. I haven't seen Eichhorn in years, and I'm like, oh, man.
Dude, can you believe, again, can you believe the guys he's getting together for this? Again,
Ed is awesome, man.
Putting together those type of, again, middle to lower bands. Some bands haven't played for years. He's the one getting them together. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
we're thrilled to be part of it.
I'll be talking to him in a couple of weeks and doing a special